name is Ronobir Lahiri. I am a sitar player and a musician and a composer and also an actor. I spent the first half of my career really as a theater actor, going and doing a show every night at 8 o'clock. And then I moved to LA about 16 years ago and I started to get more into television work. I've done a handful of television shows. I've never been a series regular, but I've guest starred. I still pop up on television, 4 or 5 times a year as a guest star on a lot of your favorite shows. So I've done Grey's Anatomy and Bones and a lot of the really popular network shows.
For years as an actor, when I started out as an actor, I never got to do a performance or appear on screen using this voice that I'm speaking to you. They always wanted me to do an Indian accent. And the message that sent to me is that who I am and what I sound like is incompatible with what I look like. When I started out, I always had to do an accent. And more likely than not, I played cab drivers or convenience store clerks. And for the first few years, that was what was available to me. And then it expanded a little bit, and I played a whole series of doctors. I can't even tell you how many times I've played Dr. Patel on primetime television, because people expected that when you go to the hospital or when you go to the doctor's office, the doctor that comes out is going to be an Indian person, an Indian guy. Sometimes I had to use an accent, sometimes I did. More often than not, they wanted me to use an accent, just to really hammer home the Indian thing. And then there was a period where I would appear on television, and when my face would first show up, they would put in some canned, ethnic sounding soundtrack underneath my scene. Boing, boing, boing. And it was just, it felt so offensive to me because it felt like it made the whole thing so small, and it made the whole thing so insignificant. And that bothered me for a long time. And it bothered me so much that I called my agents and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to play token roles anymore, because I feel like it's doing a disservice not only to me and my career, but it's doing a disservice to all of the other Indian people living in this country. It's making them small. It's putting them in a box. So I kind of made a conscious decision to not audition, not accept, not play any roles that were just so cliched, so stereotypical anymore, And it took a while because, I do this for a living, and that meant sometimes turning down a job that would have paid my rent this month or provide for my family this month. But, fortunately, as a musician, as a performing musician, I don't have anybody telling me what to play or what to sound like or what accent to use. I get to decide who I want to be. I didn't always feel this way, but in the last few years, I definitely feel that when I'm holding my sitar, when I'm playing my sitar, it feels like I'm really speaking in my authentic voice. And I love more than anything else to kind of use the sitar to play really Western music. And that feels really authentic to me, because the instrument itself, which is the voice, is an Indian voice, but the content and the story it tells is an American story. It's my story, growing up in the 70s in upstate New York, and living in New York in the 90s, and coming out to LA and being an actor in LA. When I sing and I play the songs that I play, it really feels that it is me telling the story with an authentically Indian voice, but telling an American 2021 story. So it's been a great sort of outlet for me that if I get tired of having to kind of squeeze myself into the box, I can always just branch out into my music life and I get to be really myself.
I got my peaches out in Georgia. I get my weed from California.